How's it going, everyone? My name is DrapPep, and welcome back to a brand new installment of Drap Chat. In this installment, I want to talk about something that has actually been helping me a lot with these episodes. That is writing notes before I record. This is something I only started doing recently, and honestly, I really wish I had started doing this a lot sooner. Before I started using notes, I would try to come up with an idea for an episode. I would get really excited about it. I would feel like I had a lot to say, but then I would hit record and I would forget half of what I wanted to talk about. That just out the door, out the window, forgot what it was. Now I'm just dealing with half of an idea as I'm recording. The parts I did remember, I would finish talking about really fast, sometimes in less than 6 minutes. Even though my episodes are usually supposed to be around 10 to 11 minutes or longer. I also try just letting my brain go off track and talk freely, but that came with its own problem. When I go off track, I lose where I was. I forget what I was even talking about. I end up going down random paths and not finishing my original points. Another big issue I deal with is disassociation while I'm recording. It's not supposed to happen while you're recording? Disassociate what you're talking about. That's not good. That's gonna, the moment you come back, you're not gonna remember where you left off, what you were doing. You see, I have autism. And that can make it easier for me to disassociate. Disassociation can happen as a way to deal with stress or overwhelming situations. It's kind of like a mental disconnect. Like your brain just checks out for a moment. And this can actually happen while I'm talking, in the middle of recording. So I might start talking about something, go off on a small side topic, and then suddenly forget what I was even talking about in the first place. And that makes recording really difficult. So what I started doing is writing notes before I record. Not full scripted notes or anything like that. Just simple bullet points. In fact, I'm using them right now. In fact, I'm doing it right now as we speak. I'm trying to say my thoughts, say my mind. And I've got these bullet points right literally in front of me as I'm going. But you see, these notes help me remember what I want to talk about. It helps me stay on track. It helps me know where to go next. And now, before I record, I spend about 10, sometimes to 30 minutes getting my thoughts down and organizing them. Setting up a sort of structure so that I can fully elaborate on my ideas. Which is kind of nice because sometimes I'll sit down and I'll write down some notes at first, and then maybe I'll get up. Maybe I'll go get something to eat. Maybe I will, try to edit something or clean. And then as I'm doing this, more ideas come to me later on that I can add to the notes. I don't want to call it a script. They're notes. Not like there's anything wrong with having a script, by the way. It's just sometimes I like to be able to improvise what I want to say. And honestly, it's been helping a lot having these little bulletins, these little notes. I don't lose my place as much. I can keep the episodes flowing better. I feel more in control of what I'm saying. I can still be natural, but I don't get completely lost anymore. I don't allow my brain to just wander as far as it wants to go. It's more on point now. I have a more grasp of what I want to say in these episodes, finally. I'm still figuring all of this out, by the way. I'm still learning what I want this series to even be. But as I keep working on it, I'm getting better, especially with how I present my content. This is honestly one of the most fun projects I've ever done in my YouTube career. Part of me enjoys showing off my gaming skills, the video game that you are currently looking at while listening to me. But another part of me really enjoys sharing my thoughts. I like the idea of people hearing what I'm thinking about or enjoy the facts that I want to share. Going forward, I want to do more of this. More of these, me just kind of talking to you, to my thoughts. More sharing what I'm thinking. I would still share facts, of course. That's like a big part of who I am. I love sharing facts and lore. I haven't shared much lore in, in this series, except for the Bigfoot. All right, that was kind of cool. I liked that. That was fun. I kind of like to do more of that. Maybe I'll also talk about interesting posts I find on the internet. Maybe some, stuff I find on Reddit. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But the main focus is going to be sharing my thoughts and sharing how I feel. That was the original intention. This was seriously the original reason I started doing this. I wanted to make it a vlog. I'm not even joking with you. The original idea was I was going to put a camera in front of me and just kind of ramble on for 10 minutes. And my computer broke, so I started doing 1-minute vlogs instead of 10-minute vlogs. And I didn't have a computer at the time, so I started walking all the way down to the library to upload these videos. And because they were only a minute long, I was able to get a bunch of them on a flash drive and putting it into the computer at the library and uploading it. And those vlogs was my attempt at this, what you're seeing now. And then once I got a new computer, I knew I can get back into this. But I was already doing a vlog with my, handy cam, with my camera. So I didn't necessarily need to do another one of those. So I remembered I used to do a series like years ago like this. I had a lot of fun doing it. And it was exactly what I wanted. You see, I don't have the personality of a Let's Player. I tried. I really did try. And I've noticed that I can still share my video game footage while also diving into the idea of being able to share my thoughts and feelings. And I've done a lot of videos where I've been sharing facts and not enough videos of me sharing my thoughts and feelings. And I kind of want to go back to that. And with notes like this, it feels a lot easier to do that now. And honestly, it's exciting. I'm more excited now than ever to make these projects. Because now I don't feel like I'm going in blind. Now I feel like I'm going in way more prepared. Way more invested. And sure, every now and again, I'll let my mind kind of wander a little bit. But now I can be more organized. And that's honestly the most exciting part about this. To be more organized with my episodes. And it's not like, even if I was to make a script, those are still my words. Just more organized. Better worded. not so brain fogged halfway through the episode. That's another problem I have. I get brain fogged pretty easily. I just get mentally exhausted halfway through the episode. And I think that's where a lot of my disassociation starts happening. I start to disassociate because of the brain fog, because of the mental exertion. But with these notes, I can definitely keep up on it. I don't have to think so hard about what I have to say next because I already put down what I was going to say next. I already put it down. It's already there. All I got to do is read it. And I'm back on track. But that's going to be it for this installment. I really hope everyone's excited as much as I'm excited about making way more of these. And I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in.